Hi everybody, it's Norman Van Aken here with my treasure book series, and this one is this big book here called Peppers, the Domesticated Capsicums. When Columbus came to these shores long ago, he had no botanical knowledge of chili peppers whatsoever, or chilies whatsoever. The Indians native to this land, the Nahuatl Indians, refer to the vast family more as ají. But his only frame of reference were the Italian peppers, and so he called them peppers, which is confusing, and so were other things that Columbus did. I don't know why Miss Jean Andrews, an incredible painter, chose to use that as a title, but she did. It's her book. She can do what she wants. Besides, it was published by the University of Texas Press, and they're a freedom-loving land. There's Miss Andrews back in the day. I bought this book in 1987. It's actually, maybe it was a present now that I look at the date, because it has my birthday on it. Let's take a look at the cover of this book for a second. This painting is not just the cover illustration, but Miss Andrews is a gifted artist. And this book begins with plate after plate, not the plates we eat on, plate after plate of various chilies. I was getting into chilies in a major way, finally. Being raised in the Midwest, I did not have much experience with chilies until high school, when on jalapenos maybe became something, but definitely not the vast world of chilies that are covered in this beautiful book, this beautifully illustrated book. But it's a reference book. It's not a recipe book per se, although there are recipes in it, but it's a reference book on the entire world of chilies, capsicums in the Latin way of saying it. Let's see what we have marked here. Historical background. I needed to go deep for my menus. I needed to understand the history of the ingredients, and I highlighted this chapter probably back in 1987, and so let's see what she has to say. The palates of the Greeks and Romans had been excited by aromatic spices that came to them from Arab traders by way of Egypt. Later, European taste buds, grown tired of dull, bland, medieval diets, craved the costly aromatic bits of leaves, bark, and seeds from Arabian warehouses. The fabled Venetian Marco Polo began a 24-year odyssey to the Orient in 1271 that was to open the doors of the lands of spices to Europeans, breaking the Arabs' monopoly on that rich trade. Only the very wealthy could afford the spices that were laboriously brought to them by plodding caravans struggling along the trade routes of antiquity, or by frail ships hugging the treacherous coast. They paid dearly for those cargoes, which were used in every conceivable way, for curative, culinary, and as incense, religious purposes. Black pepper, the most sought after, was so costly that it was counted out peppercorn by peppercorn. The Arabs had kept secret the source of their spices, but the journeys of Marco Polo lifted that veil and led to the breaking of the powerful Muslim domination, the opening of trade with the Orient, and the discovery of the New World. Christopher Columbus and those who followed him were in search of spices and a direct route to their source. It was transformative. Another one of my Bible books is written by a gentleman named Raymond Sokolov, and he really gets into it in his slim but so important book, Why We Eat What We Eat. Definitely one of my Bible books. Besides her paintings, there's not a lot of pictures in this book. I do have to just briefly, not this whole thing, but I am going to give you one more excerpt. Continuing the report that the chili pepper lover receives pleasure from experiencing a constrained risk. In other words, the pleasure comes from the discovery that the negative stimuli and defensive responses are not actually dangerous or life-threatening. As the consumers realize this, they experience a pleasant thrill. Eating capsicums takes the chili peppers lovers' minds away from their troubles and mundane things by heightening their awareness of a given moment. I know he's a doctor, Dr. Weil. He brilliantly termed this eating of the chilies and experiencing that, oh my God, oh no, to mouth surfing. Because that's what surfing is like. You're up there, it's scary as hell, but then you live through it and you come back and you do it again. And there is one of the traits of human nature that makes us so unique. So get your peppers on and go check it out. Gene Andrews, The Domesticated Capsicums, my treasure book for the day. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.